Hello Dogs fans, welcome to another episode of After the Dogs Roar for the season of 2017. Let's get straight into having a look at the episode agenda, a shorter show than usual, and that's because, well, our VFL side, the only side, Western Bulldogs side actually alive at this present point. Of course, our senior side didn't make the finals, but our VFL side did. And I'm going to start the show by overviewing the do-or-die clash, the elimination final, where the Footscray Bulldogs took on Essendon on Sunday at Fort Burn Oval. Looking forward to overviewing that clash. Then going to preview the VFL semi-final coming up this weekend, where the Footscray Bulldogs taking on Port Melbourne. And then to finish off the show, it's the fan favourite segment, the 5 fan questions. Going to be answering a few Western Bulldog related questions and also some VFL Footscray Bulldog related questions as well. So let's get straight into overviewing the do-or-die clash v Essendon. Okay, so let's get on to the elimination final v Essendon, which took place on Sunday at Fort Burn Oval. Of course, our Footscray Bulldogs participating in the 2017 finals, which is very, very good to see. And, well, we've had a couple of close encounters against Essendon this season. It's been 1-1 heading into this final, which means that we've won one against Essendon and they've actually won one against us. So, anyway, getting into the to the game, we actually had the quarter time lead in a very entertaining first quarter of 4-2-26 to Essendon 2-1-13. However, the Bombers ran away with it in the second quarter and led at half time 8-5-53 to the Dogs 5-5-35. So they had a bit of an edge at half time, which was not very pleasing, but we did come out in the third quarter and take back the lead and lead at three-quarter time 11-9-75 to Essendon 10-8-68. The fourth term was very, very close. It was very close indeed. We got a relatively good lead at the back end of the quarter, but then the Bombers came back, but it wasn't enough. We were able to hold on and win by 5 points to progress through to the next round in the finals, which is the semi-final stage, which I'll get to very shortly. The final score being Essendon 13-13, 91, defeated by our mob, the Footscray Bulldogs 14-12, 96 at Fort Burn Oval. A very good ground, that one. And of course, we'll return there again to play our next round of our next finals match next week, as I mentioned, getting into that very shortly. But let's go through the goal kickers. Tom Boyd, he was remarkable, sensational for the Footscray Bulldogs. Kicked 4 goals. Clay Smith played, he kicked 2. Gowers Jamison also kicked 2. You then had Webb, Hayes, Stahesky, Beckwith, and also the old-timer in Matthew Boyd kicking singles. The best players were Clay Smith, Tom Boyd, Gowers, Webb, De Stigter, and also Fletcher Roberts, who did play a very, very good game. And it does question why we actually didn't have him in the side more often this season, because he played a really vital role at times, especially as that real intercept marker, and also playing a good role in the back line as well. So anyway, it was a very good win from our Footscray Bulldogs. I watched this game on the telly, enjoyed it, looking forward to next week's game. So let's get straight into previewing the big VFL semi-final coming up next weekend. So because we won against Essendon, we progress to the semi-final stage, week 2 of the VFL finals. Our Footscray Bulldogs are taking on Port Melbourne next Sunday, the 10th of September. September at 2:40 p.m. at Fort Burns Stadium, and you can watch it on 7 and 7 Plus if you live outside of Melbourne. Of course, I live in Hobart, and so I can't watch it on normal telly, but I can watch it on 7 Plus via my laptop, and also Telstra TV. You can actually watch it on Telstra TV as well. Just make sure you type in the Melbourne postcode to receive the telecast. So looking forward to sitting down and watching this on Sunday. It is going to be a really good match, I reckon. Port Melbourne are coming off a loss to Box Hill Hawks, so this is their second chance. But for us, we're coming into this game with a win. However, the only little downside to this game is that we actually lost to Port Melbourne earlier in the year, round 5, although it wasn't by a very big margin, but it was by a convincing margin, 81-112. Port Melbourne won there in round 5. So let's hope we can, I guess, defy the odds a little bit and beat Port Melbourne at Fort Burns Stadium. This Sunday should be a ripper. I'm hoping for a ripper, and if we win this, we're through to the preliminary final stage and just one step closer to hopefully going back-to-back in the VFL. So just repeating, Sunday the 10th of September, 2:40 p.m, Fort Burn. You can watch it on 7. We're versing Port Melbourne. Can't wait. Okay, time now for the 5 fan questions. This is the fan favourite segment, and let's start with Maddie Lyons, who asks, who are our top 5 for the best and fairest B and F? Well, look, I'm going to go off my my votes here on this show, my leaderboard, the After the Dogs Raw best and fairest leaderboard, the final leaderboard, which I revealed on last week's show, where Marcus Bontempelli won. I reckon he'll win it. He should, I reckon. I reckon Jack McRae will be in the top 5, and then yeah, possibly Lockie Hunter, Caleb Daniel, Toby McLean should be there, even Bailey Dale to a certain extent as well. They've all had good years, so I think my top 5 would look something like that. I'm going to back myself here and go with the votes that I've given this season, and go with that top 5 being Marcus Bontempelli, Jack McRae, Lockie Hunter, Caleb Daniel, Toby McLean, although I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey Dale, even Luke Dalehouse, slot into that top 5 somewhere as well. Hopefully that answers your question, Maddie. John asks, what went wrong? World beaters one year to also ran the next. Well, we just didn't play with that same intent as we did last season, which is the obvious pickup. And then, like I've been harping on all year, our deliveries inside 50 have been absolutely woeful. I also think as well, thinking over the last week or so since we played our last game, I also think that I think I'm criticising Beveridge a little bit here, but I think with us playing players, with players that are inside 50 or in our forward line, they're playing in their not natural position, if you know what I mean. So we've got midfielders playing in the forward line, and it makes me think that that's probably why our forward line isn't functioning really, because we need tall and adaptable and key forwards up there to, you know, score us goals, and that's why our deliveries have been so poor inside 50, and I guess our efficiency inside 50 has been poor as well, is because we probably haven't been playing true forwards in our forward 50, which has been disappointing. So that's probably another factor, and our defence, I think, has been a touch disappointing this year as well. Of course, we didn't have the same defence as the grand final last year, although, like I mentioned before, I question why we didn't play Fletcher Roberts often, and especially Kieran Collins as well was another one that we probably should have been playing this season. It is hard to face up the next year and go back-to-back, but that's probably not an excuse. Of course, teams probably saw what we did last season and were able to stop us doing the same this season, so that's another factor as well. Hopefully that answers your question, John. Matt Button asks, with their talk with there being talk rather of Hodge now coming out of retirement to play for the Suns next year, should Boyd do the same to get to 300 games? Well, that Hodge talk yesterday was a load of crock. Seriously, I couldn't believe what I was reading, and I think he came out and said that he had no idea about it. So, look, I don't think so. Matthew Boyd's announced his retirement, and you know, when you announce your retirement, you usually stay retired, especially in this day and age. I don't think there's been an occurrence of anyone coming out of retirement. I can understand coming out of retirement to play 300 games, but I don't think Matthew Boyd would have that desire. He's retired for a reason, and so I think I don't think he'll come back and play 300. I know we saw a picture of him discussing something with Nathan Buckley, whether it was just a catch-up or a serious chat about something. We did see that picture the other day, and we can take it as just guesses, to be honest. We don't really know what they were talking about, do we? But no, I don't think he'll come out of retirement, Matthew Boyd. I think he'll stay retired. And he's been a true champion of the club, it's no doubt about that. Tracy asks, the VFL Footscray team had over 10 changes to the team for the elimination final. Do you think they'll run out with the same team or make more changes? Well, my knowledge with the VFL team isn't as good as the AFL team. I would say with our win on Sunday, I'd say don't make any changes, but whether there's better players to come back in, I'm not too sure. Of course, the 10 changes include players such as Lewis Young and Matthew Boyd, who you're always going to bring into the seconds if they are eligible to play, and so those players were. So I don't think they'll make any changes. I would expect that they won't, just because we got the win on Sunday. So if we got the win, why wouldn't you go unchanged? But I guess I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe 1 or 2 changes if there is some better players to come in. And final question states, thoughts on Tom Boyd's performance in VFL on Sunday? Well, I was very impressed. 4 goals. He looked really good when he was going for the marks, and it's only 1 game, but in saying that, if he can put together a good pre-season, then I'd love to see how he goes next season. He would be a really good addition up forward. I think he's been someone we've missed this season. If he can get back to the performance and the what he was and how he was performing in the grand final last season, then he will be a very good player for us next season, and it's something that we need up forward because, like I said, our forward line and our inside 50 efficiency has been absolutely woeful this season, and that's the truth. That's not false. It's fact. So very impressive. He's probably got a long road to go though until playing next season, and that's what the pre-season will be for. But of course he'll be playing out the VFL season first before the pre-season, the road to 2018. But was very impressed. I thought he played well, and can't wait for next season, and can't wait to see him back in the side, back in the senior team. And that is it for this week's episode of After the Dogs Roar, a shorter one than usual, and that's just because, the Footscray Bulldogs are the only team alive right now and the only team playing. So I'll be back again next week with another episode to wrap up the game on Sunday v Port Melbourne, and if we make it to the prelims, I'll preview the preliminary final as well, and I'm sure I'll do the 5 fan questions again next week as well. So thank you very much everyone for watching. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, share this video, subscribe, and make sure you go check out facebook.com/thebevshow. It's my weekly live stream where I talk all things sport, from AFL to horse racing to anything else, soccer, anything that's interesting to me. I answer comments, I open Snapchats, I roast people and give my thoughts and get really angry in a certain segment. And of course there's a couple of other segments as well I hope you all like, so make sure you go check out the Facebook page, give it a thumbs up, and tune in every Sunday 8 PM or unless the show's been rescheduled. Of course, the information on the Facebook page, that's facebook.com/thebevshow. So until next week, I'm Jacob. Let's hope the Dogs, the Footscray Bulldogs, can get a win on Sunday and put themselves through to week 3 of the finals. Go Dogs! Bye for now.